The morning sun barely pierced the thick mist hanging over the Everglades as marine biologists John Bowman and Will Olson guided their small research boat into a narrow, untouched channel. The area was silent, too silent, its stillness broken only by the soft hum of their sonar scanner. They were expecting to find fish migrations or vegetation patterns, certainly not this. The sonar suddenly spiked. John leaned over the monitor, frowning. "These formations aren't natural," he muttered. Curiosity turning into unease, they suited up and descended into the murky depths. The water was cold, the visibility almost zero, but as their flashlights cut through the darkness, the shapes slowly appeared, hundreds of them. Massive tractor tires, piled, scattered, buried in mud. A graveyard of rubber carpeting the swamp floor. Will froze mid-kick. What kind of psychopath dumps this many tires out here? They both knew the Everglades were fragile. Every plant, every creature mattered. This wasn't just pollution. This was deliberate destruction. And something about the way the tires were arranged felt intentional. They resurfaced immediately and radioed for backup. Within hours, a full recovery operation was underway. Divers attached heavy lift balloons, pulling tire after tire out of the water, loading them onto a specialized barge. It was grueling work, but one tire instantly stood out. Will struggled with it. "This one's too heavy," he grunted. The tire was sealed perfectly around the rim with a waterproof industrial compound no normal farmer would ever use. Someone wanted whatever was inside to stay dry and hidden. A chill ran through John's spine. "Get this one to Miami, carefully." By nightfall, the suspicious tire sat in the research facility's lab, surrounded by equipment and nervous scientists. The smell of swamp mud lingered in the air as they stabilized it on a steel platform. A high-powered rotary saw screeched to life, sparks flying as it tore into the thick rubber. Everyone stepped back as the final layer peeled open. A dark cavity yawned before them, silent, cold, and filled with tightly packed vacuum-sealed bundles. John's face drained of color. "Call the authorities. Right now." What they had uncovered wasn't trash. It was a smuggling vault, one hiding something far worse than pollution. And the truth inside would shake Florida's wildlife authorities to their core. Authorities arrived within minutes, expecting maybe illegal weapons or narcotics. But when they shined their flashlights into the torn-open tire, the room fell into a stunned, horrified silence. Inside were thousands of dried shark fins, stacked like currency, each vacuum-sealed into tight bricks. Some were tagged. Some still showed traces of blood. All of them were destined for the black market. Will staggered backward. My God, this tire was a transport vault. Investigators quickly pieced the puzzle together. The smugglers must have used the Everglades as a hiding route, quiet, remote, unpatrolled. When their spotters signaled that law enforcement was closing in, the traffickers had dumped the entire shipment, letting the swamp swallow their crime. But the ecological cost was catastrophic. Over $200,000 worth of shark fins recovered, which meant countless sharks slaughtered, each one critical to ocean balance. And beneath the water, hundreds of decomposing tires were poisoning the fragile ecosystem with slow-leaking chemicals and rubber compounds. What John and Will had found wasn't just evidence of a crime. It was the exposed heart of an ecological massacre. Over the next weeks, coordinated raids rippled across Florida's coast. Multiple arrests were made, trawlers were seized, a full wildlife trafficking network, one that had operated in secrecy for years, was finally brought down. Standing on the edge of the swamp as the last tire was removed, John whispered, "Nature speaks, but we only hear her when it's almost too late." Will nodded quietly beside him. "But this time," he said, "we listened." And for the first time in months, the Everglades felt just a little lighter, as if relieved that someone had finally uncovered the truth buried beneath its water.